right, YouTube, I'm sorry for yelling, holy shit. All right, YouTube, this is going to be a different type of video. I ain't even going to say different from what you're used to because I just started making content again. But this is Supreme Black Kai with another video, and today we're talking about tier list and Marvel Rivals. Are they good? Are they bad? Are they evil? This is mostly going to be a rant, so excuse the unprofessionalism or whatever. I've typically just even killed, but I'm just going to get into it. The reason I'm making this video is a match that I recently had. I played Marvel Rivals since season 0. I had good seasons, I've had bad seasons, and seasons where I was just forced to adjust and get better. I'm sure everybody can relate to that, all right? I've also put an ungodly number of hours into this game, around 2,200 hours. And most of those hours are not only on my main character, which I'll get to that shortly, but I work from home, guys. I work from home, all right? This isn't my job. I don't get paid for Marvel Rivals. I'm a nobody. I just work from home, and I'm able to play the game all day while I work. It's a dream come true, right? But anyways, 2,200 hours doing that, and in 2,200 hours, a lot of those hours are on my main character, Scarlet Witch.
All right, so in that situation, Brendan, I'm gonna kill you.
Yeah, I main Wanda, okay? I main Wanda. Throw your tomatoes, get your bulls out. Call me a noob, call me a grown man playing an auto-aim character. Say whatever you want. I've heard it before, all right? Actually, don't even say whatever you want. Say something different, please. Stop being bots. Stop being sheep. Anyways, it's gonna fall off my shoulder, so you don't have to waste your time. But if you want to, at least say something different. Regardless, I know this character in and out. I know what I'm supposed to do in practically every matchup, for better or for worse. I've solo queued with Wanda up to Celestial 1, and I also understand how much easier it could be to win with stronger meta characters. Okay, so I'm not stupid. I understand that if I were to play Bucky all day or Hela, that was the character that I went to on my alt account. It's very easy to rank up. I got to Eternity with a 60% win percentage on Hela. So I know what it is. I'm not saying that makes my opinion more valuable to anybody else's. I'm saying that I have enough experience with Wanda and a few other characters to understand her strengths, her limitations, and how much easier certain characters can produce value. This season, I'm currently around GM3. It's been an up and down season. Last few seasons been up and down for me, if I'm being honest. In this match though, the match I want to talk about, I'm cooking. I'm not trying to be arrogant. I'm doing what I feel like I should be doing in the rank that I'm in. I'm around 18-2 at the point of what you're seeing on the screen. I have like at least 10 final hits, I'm guessing. And after I start cooking, the other team switches to triple tank. Now, I read that personally. I'm playing Wanda, right? I read that as an attempt to limit what I'm doing on the character because everybody says she's low damage, right? Now, that has happened to me more than once. This is not the only game this has happened. And I obviously cannot jump into my enemies' heads and figure out why they changed the composition. So yes, I'm gonna be a little, I guess, cocky and say they changed it because of me. The important part is that all 3 of these tanks, I believe, are brawl tanks. That's actually better for Wanda than 3 shield tanks because damaging through shields makes her useless. Brawl tanks have to enter her effective range, shield tanks do not. But my teammates don't necessarily know that. You know how I know? My Rocket speaks up and says, Wanda, I need you to swap. They're on triple tank. You don't do enough damage. Mind you, I'm cooking these dudes as he's saying it. And look, I have a Jean Grey in the bag. I could play for this type of situation, but I tell him, all right, let's see how it goes. I continue cooking them, right? We're still running them over. I'm not really talking crazy to my teammate for doubting me though. All right, every time I do something, I just let them know. I say, hey, I thought Wanda doesn't do enough damage. I get another kill on the Hela. Does she do enough damage now? You know, I'm talking a little shit, but it ain't nothing toxic. Eventually, toward the end of the match, Rocket, he concedes, he gives up. He's like, oh, you might be the real Wanda Maximoff. And me personally, I've always thought that meme was a little corny, but maybe it's because the character I play, I'm a grown-ass man. I respond, no, Wanda's actually not that bad. Stop looking at tier list. And this is the point. It took me 4 minutes to get here. My other DPS speaks up. Wanda is that bad. She's a shit character. She's one of the worst characters in the game. These dudes are just dog shit. Think about that. Think about that really quickly. We are inside the match. He is watching what is happening. He sees me cook the other team. I'm producing value even though they countered. Went 3 tanks to not, because I don't do damage, right? And we're still winning. And not only we're winning, I'm going off. And his conclusion was that Wanda still is garbage. Fine, she could be worse than other characters. I asked him to explain why Wanda is bad. He talks about her low damage, her stun being ineffective, and how he would bait out all of her cooldowns while he's playing Magic, and he claimed to have like a 90% win rate against Wanda players. Look, I'm not going to deny his win rate against Wanda players, because even though you could look at Rivals meta, I might just do that. If I end up doing that, you'll see it on screen. Anyways, 90% win rate against Wanda players, right? And a lot of Wanda players, they just auto aim. So fine if that's true, but you're not about to beat my ass. I told him to prove it. I said, come bait out my cooldowns after the game. He agreed to do that during the match, but after the game, I invited him. He never joined. I ended up DMing him, right? And I was gonna block it out, but look at his name. He's a weirdo, so fuck him. And yeah, he never responded. Now, maybe he genuinely believed everything he was saying. Maybe he got busy. I don't know. Maybe he's been busy for 3 days straight and he hasn't said anything to me. The videos really isn't really just about him. It's about a much larger problem. Okay, because I repeatedly experience this every single day I get on Wanda, like with evidence. Every single day I get on Wanda. Wanda is just not judged by whatever's happening in the match. Whether I'm going crazy, whether I'm playing like ass, I'm treated the same. All right, because she has a reputation. And that brings me to tier lists. I said I was going up to my point earlier. No, this is my actual point. All right, garbage video. I'm sorry. I watch Flats. I watch Boger. I watch even a little bit of Necros. He's kind of silly to me, so I don't watch him as much. I'm not attacking any of them. This is not a Flats' garbage video. This is not a Boger doesn't know what he's talking about video. It's not even an attack on Necros. They are all content creators making content and giving their opinions. They're the 3 big dogs, right? They're the Hydra. They present their tier list though as opinions. So they could be the big dogs. It's still opinions. Boger has explicitly said that people can play whoever they want, including in higher ranks. But the problem is that the community, they don't care about that. They don't care about whatever facts he says or whatever opinions he says. From how I interpret their videos, they don't even build their tier list using the exact same philosophy. Flats, he appears to put a lot of weight on what he personally sees and the stats and the overall state of the roster. Boger seems more focused on the current meta, how a character fits into it, and how that character performs against it. Necros is harder for me to really pinpoint because again, I don't watch him that much, but he's pretty just, oh, this character's ass, let's move on. You could watch their videos yourself and interpret their reasoning differently. That's fine. My point is that they are not using one official, rule set for how they do their tier list. They could place a character completely differently or in the same, but the community skips all of that. Whether they have the same opinion or a different opinion and they explain those opinions, y'all don't listen to that. A lot of people don't listen to the explanation that Flats has for why Wanda is F or D tier or whatever the case may be. They just look at the final picture. They see Wanda in F tier and treat the letter as if it's like it's objective. Then F tier becomes unplayable, all right? Just like what Necro says. They mix it up. Necro says she's unplayable in higher ranks, so she's unplayable. It becomes an automatic loss. It becomes make this person switch before we've even seen them play, right? Bullshit. And if the Wanda player performs well, apparently the other team was just trash. So re-add that on, right? That's the problem. Tier lists compare characters to one another. If somebody places Wanda in F tier, that can mean they believe she produces less value, requires more effort, or is less useful in the current meta than the other characters above her. That does not mean that she has literally no value. Every character in this game is playable in any rank. Every character can get value. What changes is how easily and consistently they get that value, especially against stronger players in certain compositions, all right? I think we all truly know this. Wanda has real weaknesses. And I'm not sitting here pretending that she's secretly S tier. That's not what this video is about. I'm not about to try to convince you that she's the greatest character of all time. If the enemy is playing strong range characters like Hela or Bucky, Wanda is going to have a difficult time. She has to close that distance. She has to find a flank or create an opportunity without taking a direct range fight that she is just going to lose. So you got to get the jump on those characters. That doesn't mean you can't get the jump on them. I've done it in the Celestial 1. I've done it. And I don't want to hear those Celestial ones pissed low. Shut your bitch. Anyways, those characters have consistently remained strong or close to the meta. You are going to encounter them regularly, especially in higher ranks. That matters when you rank Wanda in tier lists. That's why personally, I would put her in C tier. I think she is average. She could look really good in the correct situation. And she could look extremely limited in another situation. She is not in rework territory for me. She is just not also secretly the strongest character in the game. If we want to get into the math of it, especially with her Jubilee team up, and then you talk about having Mantis on the team with the damage boost, she can get crazy, all right? But we're not going to get into all of that. And then also, you know, she got she's extremely useful against dive characters. Her auto aim, I know that's the most hated ability in the game, but that puts all divers on a timer. She got hella flank potential, but it's not about buffing up Wanda. It's not about talking about how good Wanda is. All right. So at the end of the day, she has all that. And again, I can make a whole nother video. I can make several videos, but I can make a whole nother video talking about how to really take advantage of Wanda's kit. When somebody tells me that she has no value, right, it just begs the question. I have to ask them, what does Wanda actually do to you? What is in her kit outside of the auto aim? And again, most of the time I just can't get a real answer. And they get their opinions from these tier lists or Reddit or whatever the case may be, mostly tier lists. I think everybody gets their shit as opinions from these tier lists. Because they don't say that she's an F tier. That's fine. Say that she's an F tier. But when you see me cooking people, don't tell me I don't get any value and then you decide to throw the game. Because I tell you to basically shut the fuck up without saying it. I ask you the question and you can't answer, and then you get offended because you look fucking stupid against in front of the e-girls. Now you want to throw my shit. At the end of the day, if you don't know what the character does, why are you so confident that the person playing her is throwing your game? Now, again, I've been very, very, very against the community. The community's dog shit. You got several creators saying it. I think everybody can see that. It's not really a sheep opinion. That's literally the community is fucking terrible. And what's a part of the community? Wanda players. Wanda players are not innocent in this. There are Wanda players who reinforce the reputation that she has. There are players who climb by just holding auto aim all day, focusing tanks, and never properly using the rest of her kit. So when that stops working against better players, once they get to diamond, around diamond, they just get exposed. Some Wanda players are also extremely arrogant without having much reason to be arrogant. I've seen it myself. I'm not going to act like every Wanda player is secretly amazing and the entire community is conspiring against a group of players. That's not what's happening. Bad Wanda players definitely exist. There's more bad players in this game than there are good players, so that stands to reason there's more bad Wanda players than good Wanda players. Toxic Wanda players exist. There's more toxic players. There's Wanda players who have thrown my game too because they click on Wanda before I get on her because they see a legendary Wanda on the load up screen. Alright, but bad players exist on every single character. The answer cannot be assuming every person who selects Wanda is a bad player. The answer cannot be deciding the match is over as soon as I get to that character selection and I pick her. And that's why I think tier lists are a problem, bro. That's why I think it makes me playing miserable. It's already miserable as fuck playing this fucking game. The list itself is not forcing anybody to throw. Flats, Boger, and Echoes, they're not entering our matches and saying, hey, throw this nigga's game. That's not what they're doing. But the community, because it's so fucking dog shit, it takes those opinions and turns them into to what they're doing. These niggas harass me into swap into another character, or they ban my own character because they don't want them on the team. We always talk about it's toxic to ban your teammate's player or the character that they pick, and they be picking meta characters. At least there's some type of argument. But when you're banning a character that's not even meta because you don't want them on the team, like, please go in the comments and tell me, does that happen to you? Because it happens to me all the time. And then what's crazy is because the community is so on the fence with being toxic, Wanda gets banned, they see the ban going on, they do not do anything to stop it. They don't ban somebody else. Even if I say, hey, if my character gets banned, I'm throwing this shit, they don't say anything. They don't do anything. They let Wanda get banned. They let it be a 50-50. And then when the match collapses, say that Wanda doesn't get banned and the person just decides to throw, I dead ass got him blamed for playing Wanda instead of the person who's actively throwing this shit. And I'm just tired of pretending that this shit doesn't happen. Now, this is not a feel bad for Kai video, but fuck Kai, bro. Who cares? It's not even a feel bad about Wanda players. I want to know how often this actually happens. It can't just be me. And what I'm actually going to do is I've already just actually started doing it. I'm recording all of my games. I'm tracking all of my games. By the time next season come out, I'm going to release another video to see what the fuck going on the percentage base. Maybe the numbers are going to prove that I'm exaggerating, or maybe it's going to prove that I'm right. We're going to see what happens, all right? Either way, I'm going to have actual evidence. But for now, my point is simple. A tier list is just somebody's opinion. That's it. It's not permission to do whatever the fuck you want to do and throw somebody else's game. Dog shit ass person, dog shit ass human being. You truly are a boy. Like, you're so fucking bored. You can think that Wanda's F tier. Again, I think she's C tier. So we're only two tiers off from one another. But if a Wanda's on your team and she's producing value, helping you win fights and outperforming what you expected, and your response is still, no, the character's garbage, get the fuck off the character, bitch ass nigga, then I have one genuine question. What the fuck is wrong with you?